You are Locked On Warriors Postcast, part of Locked On Sports San Francisco on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Locked On Warriors Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR, or maybe from some of these other Locked On Sports postcasts we do. We also do the Locked On Giants and Locked On 49ers postcast. But today, man, you know the biggest story in sports today, Game 7, Rockets, Warriors, and it went exactly how you would think it would go if you know the history between these two teams. Warriors closed this one out in a pressure-packed win in Game 7, and it came from an unlikely hero, though, Buddy blanking Hield. Buddy Bucket Splash Cousin Buddy played the game of his life as he scored a postseason career high 33 points while also playing lockdown defense. He had 9 3-pointers, and all this comes after scoring 0 points in 17 minutes in Game 6. Steph pitched in a double-double, 22 points, despite just scoring 3 by the half. And the Minnesota Timberwolves are next up for the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference Semifinals. And we also got to talk about that loser Fred VanVleet and his weird crash out today. We'll break it all down, but first, I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Thanks also for listening on the Locked On Warriors podcast feed. However you're tuning in, we appreciate you checking the show out. Make sure to check out the Locked On Warriors Daily Show for more in-depth coverage. This one, man, oh man, the Rockets, let's just get right to the turning point for today's game, because it came in the third quarter, and after that, man, the Warriors just went on a huge run to end this game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And the turning point in this one came in that third quarter when it was 63-60. Warriors had just a 3-point lead. The Rockets looked like they were gaining some momentum. The Warriors started to look a little bit tired. We do know, obviously, that they are an older team, and that's going to be the thing that eventually probably will get them in this playoff run. If anything does at all, it's going to be the age. It's going to be the wear and tear. And the Rockets were really starting to push on a run when they trimmed it to just a 3-point lead for the Warriors. Kerr calls a timeout, and that was a great timeout. I was sitting on the couch watching this game, yelling at the TV, someone please call a timeout, because, my God, there was no way to stop the Rockets' momentum at that point other than just a break in the action. And after Kerr called that timeout, shout out all you people who hate on Steve Kerr for, quote, not being a great coach. He showed it right there, his feel for the game. And after that point, Warriors go on a 12-2 run, open this one up, and then just blow it up in that fourth quarter. In the final few minutes of that fourth quarter, opened up a 20-point lead. And man, just amazing stuff from Buddy Hield. And we got to do it right now, right away, right off the rip. We're giving Buddy Hield today's player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I don't think I've seen Buddy Hield play this good ever in my entire life. Dude had 33 points. He was a plus 17, 9 of 11 from 3-point range, 12 of 15 from the floor. He played 37 minutes tonight, and Buddy was just outstanding, man. He was taking every single shot that he had open. He got going after Steph found him in the corner. Steph had a nice little baseline drive, drew the double team, and with that gravity, you know that someone's going to be open. Steph with the no look behind the head pass to Buddy Hield in the corner, and Buddy drained that three. And from that point on, man, Buddy hit the ground running. Scored 10 points in that first quarter, scored 12 points in that second quarter, and he did not slow down at all. 33 points by the end of this one. Went a little bit quiet in that third, but in the fourth, he came back alive. And man, oh, wow, what a great game from Buddy Hield. And it's even more outstanding to me than his offensive production, which was, I mean, very notable in this one. He played great defense, like amazing defense from Buddy Hield. He had Fred VanVleet so frustrated after he committed a turnover in that fourth quarter where Buddy Hield just took that ball away from him, that in transition, while Buddy and Jimmy are both running ahead of Fred VanVleet, This loser just shoves Jimmy Butler in the back to the ground. And the way Jimmy popped up, man, I thought there was going to be another scrum in this series. Jimmy looked like he was ready to go to war with little guy Fred VanVleet trying to act all tough. He just got little man syndrome or something. I don't really know what's going on with that guy. But I mean, and then later on in that quarter, like right before the end of the game, Buddy takes like a shot clock running out three just because the Warriors have to shoot the ball at the end of the game. And Fred VanVleet runs up and shoves Buddy too, shoves him right to the ground. No call on that one. But that's very, on brand for how this series went. This series felt like Tim Donaghy was reffing this game, and he just was, had spreads going all over the place. That's what it felt like. Like Tony Brothers was out there doing his best Tim Donaghy impression. But that's the way it's been going all series long. The Rockets, again, more than double the amount of free throws the Warriors had. They had 21. The Warriors only had 9. And I don't think anyone would question that the Rockets were the more physical team in this series. They played with a level of physicality that you rarely see in the NBA, at least in today's NBA. And how they got to the line more often than the Warriors, it will baffle me for all of eternity, because this one, I mean, Steph, how many times does Steph need to have someone put their shoulder down and just run into his chest and knock him flat on his back before they're going to call a foul? How many times has someone got to swipe down on that injured hand of Steph and just make all skin-to-skin contact and there's no foul called? I don't understand. Like going back the other way, there's like some minimal contact as the Rockets are driving the lane and they're going right to the line. I will just never understand why the series was officiated the way it was. But hey, the Warriors take care of business, get it done. And this whole starting lineup really did all of the lifting for the Warriors. They only had 3 bench points in this one. All 3 came from Kevon Looney. But like I said, it was the starters who really, really, really did all of the lifting in this one. Jimmy had 20, Steph 22. Buddy led the way with 33, as we said, and this phenomenal defense of a Buddy Hield tonight. He had so many stops defensively, and he would get switched onto bigger guys and just make great contests in the paint. He was closing out on shooters on the 3-point line. He had 2 blocks in this one and a steal, but he wasn't alone. He wasn't the only guard playing amazing, stellar defense tonight. Stephen Wardell Curry. Oh my Lanta. This guy just played. I don't know if I've ever seen Steph play defense like that in my life before. He was getting switched onto bigger defenders or bigger shooters. Did the same mistake twice. My bad. He was getting switched onto bigger shooters from the Rockets, and he was accepting the challenge in the paint. He was not letting guys like Jabari Smith Jr. back him down. Steph was sitting there holding his ground, contesting shots. And for a guy at 37 years old to be doing this is absolutely bonkers. For him to go up against a guy who's 6'10", 6'11", and 10 years younger than him and to stonewall him, that is super impressive. And don't forget, Steph is hurt. Like Steph is, that hand's got to be at like maybe 50% at best right now. The way that thumb just looks so swollen, and Steph, it didn't matter. Didn't phase him. He did only have 3 points in that first half, but then he just exploded for 22 by the end of this game. All of that scoring, essentially, 19 of those points coming in the second half. He really turned it on in that fourth quarter. But what I really loved about Steph Curry, not the only thing, but one of my favorite moments from Steph tonight was when Buddy hit one of those dagger threes, because I felt like in the fourth quarter on that run the Warriors went on, it was just dagger after dagger after dagger. And Buddy Hield hit like a huge 3 to basically put this one to bed. And Steph hits him with the night-night, not even after his own 3, which he hit, like I think the possession prior. He waited till Buddy hit the 3 to hit the night-night on the Houston Rockets. And oh my God, Buddy Hield will forever be immortalized after this game. I think we got to officially indoctrinate him as a splash cousin. At the bare minimum, Buddy Hield can forever own that title of splash cousin, splash stepbrother, whatever you want to call him. He's a part of the Splash family. And Buddy Hield, it is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It has been all season long. Somehow this guy got to 200 threes. I have ripped Buddy Hield over and over and over again this season. But man, I got to take it all back. I got to eat all of those words, because Buddy Hield, when the chips were all down, he stepped up, man. I had very little confidence in the Warriors role players going into this game. After the way that they just absolutely just est the bed in game 6, Buddy Hield and Brandon Podziemski specifically, I saw no world in which they would come back and play very good basketball in game 7 on the road in a hostile environment. And Brandon Podziemski, he kind of fit that bill tonight. He did not play a very good game. 4 of 12 from the field, just 1 of 7 from 3. Pods only had 9 points in this one, but Buddy more than made up for it, man. I am beyond excited about the way that Buddy Hield played tonight. But with some reservations going into the next series against the Timberwolves, don't expect this from Buddy on a consistent basis. I think we all know not to expect that from Buddy on a consistent basis, but man, how great would it be if this Buddy Hield showed up? I mean, not even, you don't need 33 points from him, but like 80% of this version of Buddy Hield showed up every night. The Warriors would win the championship. They absolutely would win the championship if they had a bona fide third option who was a pure shooter who could drill shots from beyond the arc. Buddy Hield was that guy tonight. And I saw a lot of stuff on social media about how the Warriors were just desperately missing Klay Thompson and how they just needed one of those shooters back in their lives. And Buddy Hield stepped up. I saw in the comments earlier, Shashank said, Game 7 Buddy equals Game 6 Klay. Yes, absolutely, 100%. Buddy was out of his mind tonight. Like, this is the Buddy Hield legacy game. It's going to live in the minds of Warriors fans forever. And I mean, you really couldn't end this season on a loss to the Houston Rockets, could you? Like, it absolutely could not end that way for the Warriors. So I'm so glad to be able to send Dylan Brooks out on a nice vacation to Cancun. I'm so glad to be able to send that loser little guy, Fred VanVleet, out on a nice little vacation to Cancun. This team, I mean, credit the Rockets. They were playing some great basketball. Amen Thompson was just playing out of his mind tonight. I know Asor plays for the Pistons. Don't worry. But Amen Thompson played a great game for the Rockets tonight. He had 24 points. And honestly, this game changed when he had that calf cramp or pull or whatever was going on with his leg. He just wasn't the same defender afterwards. You saw Steph cook him for an ISO 3. And after that point, he just kind of looked done. He was not the same level of effectiveness as he had in the first half. I mean, he was just absolutely doing everything for the Rockets, getting rebounds, getting putbacks, being their primary on-ball defender, leading the team in scoring. Like, this guy was doing absolutely everything for the Rockets. And if he can develop a three-point shot, man, the rest of the NBA better watch out, because this guy is very, very, very good. But wasn't enough to overcome the Warriors tonight. The Rockets still probably a year or two away from having all these young guys mature and take that next step. But one guy on the Houston Rockets that I was not very surprised about for posting another triple single after running his mouth earlier this season, Jalen Green. I don't know how you're going to sit there and call out Draymond and say that this guy, all he can do is run his mouth when you're out here going 3 of 8 for 8 points and 0 for 2 from downtown. I mean, this guy just a joke out there on the court. I know he's a quote local guy, but the Bay Area has absolutely always said that Manteca, Madera, like that whole area, Tracy, that is absolutely not the Bay Area. And you can go ahead and stay out there in the Valley, buddy. You are not welcome here in the Bay. Don't even try and come out here with your painted nails and all that, running your mouth BS. Like, Jalen Green, I'm so tired of this guy. Get out of here. Enjoy your vacation in Cancun with Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet. You can go be like the Three Stooges out there in Cancun, getting your loser behavior on together. So the Warriors, solid effort tonight on the defensive end of the floor. Very impressed. They hold the Rockets to just 89 points, only 40% from the floor and 33% from beyond the arc. And that was just, I mean, I'm stunned by the way that the Warriors played defense tonight. After Gary Payton II was ruled out of this one with an illness pregame, I thought this was going to be a rough go on the defensive end of the floor. And the Warriors, they did it. They got it done. They stepped up. They rose to the occasion. And everybody on this team contributed to this win. Even Draymond had 16 points. He had 10 in that first quarter. He was really playing, or 8 in that first quarter, 10 in that first half. He was playing great early on. He had 8 quick points with 2 threes. Draymond was playing great, aggressive offense early on. And that really, I think, stunned the Rockets. So just a great all-around game from the Golden State Warriors. We got to take a quick break, but on the other side, we're going to talk about this matchup looming with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And we also got to talk about what you're going to be talking about. That's what's coming up next on the Locked On Warriors postcast. Today's show is sponsored by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where the heck did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. It's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and you start building wealth. Comes with all sorts of surprising insights. When I started using Monarch, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery, and now I budget smarter and save more. It also comes with all-in-one convenience. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. And today's show is also sponsored by Betterhelp. The world has made a lot of progress when it comes to mental health, but there's still a long way to go. Too many people still avoid therapy because they're afraid of being judged. But the truth is, taking care of your mental health should be just as normal as going to the gym or eating healthy. This Mental Health Awareness Month lets normalize getting help and encourage everyone to prioritize their well-being. Because when people feel supported, families, workplaces, and entire communities are better for it. I mean, everybody needs help sometimes. You can't do this alone. Life is just, it's impossible to continue to just trudge on when everyone's got some stuff. Everyone's got baggage, whether it's family issues or something that's going on with you yourself. Everybody needs a little bit of help sometime. Nobody should be discouraged from doing this. I have gone to therapy myself, and it's benefited me immensely. We're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/LockedOnNBA to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. Welcome back to the Locked On Warriors postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today, man, oh, wow, what a great game from Buddy Hield, offensively and defensively. Steph Curry also stepping up on the defensive end of the floor. Jimmy did his thing with 20 points. He went 7 of 13 from the floor and had 7 assists as well. But the Warriors really did a great job minimizing turnovers. And I thought that was a huge plus. That huge key to this Warriors win was they only had 7 turnovers. They won the turnover margin. The Rockets had 11 turnovers in this one. So great ball management by the Warriors. I mean, early on, saw a couple turnovers because of like poor passes from the Warriors, just sloppy entry passes and cross-court skip passes that just weren't very smart by the Warriors. And the Rockets took advantage early on. They stopped doing that. They learned their lesson. They quickly adapted, and they started playing more their game. And while the Rockets absolutely dominated the rebounds, they absolutely dominated points in the paint, second chance points, fast break points, every one of those like hustle stats that you want to throw out there, the Rockets were beating the Warriors. But the lack of turnovers and the great on-ball defense that the Warriors played tonight was essential to this win. But now that the Warriors are moving on from this game, it brings me to what you'll be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
And what you'll be talking about is this upcoming series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And this is going to be a tough test. I mean, the Wolves are absolutely huge on the interior. I mean, you got Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert. Obviously, we know the well-documented history between Draymond Green and Rudy Gobert. Draymond even said before this game, he said that he's got to lead by example. And the example he led with in Game 6 was not what the Warriors needed. They needed him to be cool, calm, and collected, but use that fiery energy that he has and channel it into his play on the court. None of this extracurricular stuff. You didn't really see any of that from Draymond tonight. He did get a tech for a weird foul on Fred VanVleet, which I thought that was borderline. I thought that could have just been a common foul on the follow through. I guess after he made contact with Fred VanVleet, he kind of like ripped the arm through on his head/neck area. So anytime that you're getting contact up above the shoulders, that's obviously gonna trigger a whistle from the officials. But I mean, they had also already called a foul on Fred VanVleet Prior to that, it was a reach on Van Vliet. Draymond was trying to get the pass off, and just the follow through carried him into Van Vliet. So I thought that could have been a common foul. But Draymond's got to keep his cool against Rudy Gobert. 100% has to keep his cool against Gobert. If they're going to have any shot at beating this Timberwolves team, they got to figure out who the heck is going to guard Anthony Edwards. They got to figure out who the heck is going to stop them in the interior with Naz Reid and Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle, who had a monster series for them in the first round. I mean, he looked so good, and that tandem of Ant Edwards and Julius Randle looks pretty lethal right now. So the Warriors are going to have to figure out how to guard all these different guys with their small lineup. So big test for the Warriors coming up. I think the Wolves in Warriors series is going to be a fun one. I'm going to say it right now. I think this one's going 7 games also. I think that Wolves-Warriors series has a lot of entertaining subplots to it, and I think that this one's going to go the distance. And if the Warriors want to advance to the Western Conference Finals, it's going to be a very, very, very tall task. That's all the time we got for you guys today here on the Locked On Warriors postcast. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be coming to you live on Tuesday when the Warriors play Game 1 against the Minnesota Timberwolves in the Western Conference Semifinals. Did we let's be real? Did we really think the Warriors were going to be here pre-Jimmy Butler trade? I think collectively that's a hell no. So the Warriors are absolutely in a fortuitous position based on how this season was going for them in like December, January. Things were looking real bleak. And for them to be here now is just an absolutely remarkable turnaround. It's all the time we got for you guys today here on the Locked On Warriors postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.